In a world of shiny helmets, spandex jumpsuits, and strange monsters, these heroes force feed you a bowl of awesome that is the Tokudon Podcast. Join Carl and Rob as they haphazardly welcome you to the exciting genre of Tokusatsu. Now, open wide.
Hello, friends! We're back.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Yeah. See, we just had to stall for time, that's all. Rocking some DNF dual combos. Game fucking great. I love that game.
How's that going?
I'll get into that in a second. Hang on. K20 is asking when we're going to have him on the show to talk about never getting Kamen Rider Blade on DVD. Listen, I tweet at Shout every single day.
At least he understands the standard that we operate here by.
Listen, we're going to have, when they get announced, we'll have you and Mark on, and then we'll just have Rob suffer with 3 hours of Blade.
Raging violently.
Yeah.
As I find all of your informations and come knock on your door.
That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. So we'll just have a big Blade party when it gets announced because we're just going to keep shouting it, tweeting it Shout until they make it happen. So
one day will be, it's a funny thing you talk about that because as I was thinking about what today we should do, I was actually really considering a lot of the Blade designs for my...
because they're gorgeous. Like, regardless of how you feel, I think everyone has to admit they're at least gorgeous designs.
I really just give you shit because the story is just so much.
It's so good.
It's so much.
It's so good. So much story is good story.
But the designs are so clean. I will always give you that. Blade's designs are clean. Especially King form. Fuck you.
Yeah, buddy. Especially when they get the SIC King forms.
But I have a question.
Yo.
What you been up to?
So we were playing some DNF Duel. Kind of checking that out. We've been going pretty hard on that. I was actually just talking about how that's one of the first fighting games in a long time that like I look forward to playing and like go out of my way to like research combos and watch matches and stuff. I'm having a lot of fun with that game actually. Surprisingly.
Do you think like it's a classic or just some kind of fun to kill for now?
It's definitely gonna be a like something to play in between other games. So its big thing is it does a easy control input if you want to. So you can do motion controls, but you can also do kind of like what the Power Rangers game does, where you do like directional controls with the special button.
Button mash.
But the thing is, all of those directional controls are for your mana moves, essentially, like your special moves, and those are the ones that cash out white health. So only mana moves can cash out your white health.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. So you have you can do directions with the regular normals. It's essentially, to keep it as simple as possible, it's light, medium, heavy, special. It's a 4-button fighter. Right. And on the special button, you can do the motions. It's typical motions: quarter circle forward, dragon punches, all that kind of stuff. Everyone has a reversal. Everyone has some kind of like Hadouken motion forward and back, and then everyone has like an aerial special as well. Those cost MP. And that MP varies depending on what move it is. Like my girl, the Inquisitor, who is Joan of Arc, essentially, with a big dumb axe. Okay. So I like screaming repent as I smash people into the ground. She has this big dumb fire wheel. It's this huge spiked wheel of doom that's on fire, and she has an oil mechanic where if she oils you up first and ignites you with any of her fire, it gets a pop up. You get a juggle that's even higher, that kind of thing. You get extra damage.
Between Hakan and this one, you have this affinity for lubrication.
She's Hakan.
Just lubed up.
I am lubed up all the time. I'm 24/7 lubed.
Ready to rock, man.
Yeah, it's just like, let's fucking go. So that's kind of her shtick, but this wheel costs 90 MP and you start the round with 100. So that is
damn.
You can use more. So like as long as you have 1 MP, you can use any move, but you'll be in like burnout kind of thing. Like it'll take a couple seconds for the MP to come back. It regenerates.
Okay.
But if you do the motion as opposed to the directional input, it comes back almost instantly. And I don't mean like it pops open, like the recharge starts almost instantly. Normally you do the move, there's a delay for a second or two, and then it'll start to recharge. You do the motion input, it recharges pretty much right away. So it incentivizes learning the real inputs, but you can get away with doing the directional ones.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. So it's not more of a rock, paper, scissors. It's more of a advanced rock, paper, scissors Spock.
No, I mean, it's like any other fighting game. It's as complicated for the most part as Dragon Ball FighterZ when it comes to like there's auto combos kind of thing. Like everyone has a light, medium, heavy kind of thing. You can just do that. You know, the most basic combo literally every character can do is light, medium, crouch, medium, heavy. Super basic. You know, you get the white health and then you just throw a special in the end that cashes out your damage. That's the most basic you can do of anything. Like that's the universal combo, right? Like that's your everything works for everything sort of thing. When in doubt, just rock that combo. But when you have other, you have characters that are completely unique, and it's really cool because it's based on Dungeon Fighter Online, which I think we've talked about a little bit before, but like that game is God knows how old at this point. And it you know, they're very much the classes that it comes from. So every character does something completely unique. Every character does something, you know, it behaves differently. Like there's a straight up zoning character because they just use guns. That's their shtick. Their martial art is guns.
There's always an Aaron Black. Always.
Yeah. Well, there is an Aaron Black, and then there's also Aaron Black's mom, who just...
I'm sorry?
Yeah. So there's Aaron Black. He's the ranger. He looks like Dante, but he uses revolvers. And, you know, he does the typical, like shoot. Hey, I can snipe you from across the screen. I can't really convert too much, but, you know, whatever. I can hit you from across the screen. And then there's the girl who can just literally pepper the entire screen with projectiles if she wants to. Her name is Launcher.
Mama.
She's awful. I hate fighting her because my character has, like, pretty basic pressure options to begin with. And then dealing with her at the same time is just a nightmare. So wild. This game's wild. If anyone's ever played Grand Blue Fantasy, that's going to be the most recent like actual comparison to it. It's very similar system wise. There's a roll. There's a guard button.
The Grand Blue is nice though. I do like Grand Blue's design.
Same thing with this one.
Super sick.
The character, you know, it's the Arxis team. They're doing their thing with the cell shading. They're killing it like always.
And so it's not SNK difficult. It's not ungodly.
No,
unfair.
It is the polar opposite of any of the KOF games. So yeah, that's the whole shtick. And I think that's why it's probably going to keep some people around for a little bit. Like I said, I don't think it's going to go down as like the next Third Strike or anything like that anytime soon. But it's a solid, fun fighting game. Like it's fun at the end of the day, and that's what's really cool.
I gotta try to dust off the fighting games because all I've been up to lately is trying to rehash like all of these old Final Fantasy esque RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I needed something just to tell, you know, just to fill up a story, just to get some ideas going. So I re-downloaded Wild Arms 3.
Nice.
Yeah, and I forgot how when I first played that game, I was like, wow, RPGs are amazing. This is gonna be the best thing ever. And I booted it up again, and I remember the same intro when they're on the train. Well, I always chose the same dude. I always chose the same. I forget his name. Shin, whatever his name is.
I played that like once way back when.
I was like, okay, now that my styles, you know, my approach is different, maybe I'll choose a different character.
Yep.
No. Like, no, these are all shit. Okay,
but it'd be fun to see how, I think in that situation, like for me, sometimes it's fun to like pick the old thing, but knowing I have a completely new mindset to see how it varies. You know what I mean?
If there's enough, I don't know how much of a variation Wild Arms 3 was. Like, I think everybody has the same relative skills after a certain amount of
like this
time.
dude's gonna whoop hard, this dude's gonna throw things.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was debating how I was gonna play that, and then I started that, and then I realized that, dude, I still have the Final Fantasy X that I started anew because I wanted to break the sphere grid this time, and I got past Sin, you know, that first part where you get sucked up, and I'm thrown into the water, and I remembered how much game there is.
Yep.
I'm like, Nah, I'm good.
That's usually the point in RPGs when you hit that like 2-3 hour mark where you're out of the tutorial essentially. That's after when you go, oh god, I'm exhausted already.
like I tossed in Bloodborne just to see how I was gonna hold up.
Yep.
Because now that I'm king shit in Elden Ring, I'm like, yeah, why not? Why won't I just throw in Bloodborne? And
of course.
Wow. Oh my god. I am such a neophyte. Like,
Elden Ring spoiled you.
Oh my god, unimaginably so. I got such a delusion of grandeur that when I got into Yharnam, that first dude, that first dude in the corner where he's just a big angry chunky guy with the axe.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, I know how to pop him now. I know how to spark the stagger.
Yep.
I'm just gonna master that, and then you run out of bullets, and I'm like, oh wait. You can't just do that. You can't just do that. You have to plan.
Yep.
And I got, so
you got to be real good at countering if you're just going to run in there.
I realized that I really took my Elden Ring saga and went with it, because I am not what I thought I was in Bloodborne, nor Dark Souls, nor any of that. Even though like all the skills are still there, it's just everything is so I can't even say better or worse. It's just different. Different enough that I was like, I forgot how much respect I have to give this game.
And yet it still hasn't been announced for PC. So
sorry, man.
One day we'll get that unlocked 30 frames and get it up to 60. It'll be glorious. It'll be fantastic.
I can't even, I think my eyes would bleed.
It'll be beautiful. Other than that, I just, doing the usual thing, surviving the world. I grinded out Monster Hunter because they released the new expansion for that, Sunbreak. So I went, yeah, it's like every year they do like World and then Iceborne. This is the equivalent to that kind of thing. So I took a literal shotgun and just mowed my way through the first half of that game. And now I'm into the Sunbreak stuff. So we'll be checking that out on the stream if you guys want to follow. It's twitch.tv/KaijuCarl if you're not here already. You guys can check that out. We'll be checking out Sunbreak and things like that. Mark is saying he's playing Xenosaga Episode 1 on his emulator to make it 1080p and 60 frames, and it's gorgeous.
Xenosaga.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one with
the
Genos?
Cosmos?
Not Genos. Cosmos. Thank you, not Genos.
She had the big dumb miniguns.
Didn't it go from like the first one was kind of cartoony, the second one was a little more realistic, and then they went right back to cartoony for the third one? Yeah,
like one of them, I don't know if it's the second or third one, but one of them went like a hard, like Unreal Engine for some reason, and then like went back to full anime. But the first one is very, very anime, and like classic Xenosaga. Towards the end, you get like the big robots and stuff. It's kind of cool.
That was Alex. I used to watch Alex play that, and I remember the system itself, like the RPG aspects were like so not complicated. Like, I could probably play that, but no.
Peacemaker says he's waiting for, speaking of Xenoblade 3 to come out at the end of the month. I have yet to play any of the Xenoblade games, and I really want to. I really want to play Xenoblade Chronicle X on the Wii U. It's trapped on the Wii U right now.
But I don't think that would be too much of a bad thing. I mean,
Wii
U's not horrible. Wii U's not horrible. It's not great, but...
But like you ported everything else over at this point. Like, give me, all I want is the Wii Punch Out, and then give me Chronicles X. Like we've ported Bayonetta's, we've ported all that stuff. I think they even ported that weird like Ninja Gaiden Igarashi game that they made. It was so strange. I don't even remember what it's called, but it had like a weird multiplayer and stuff. And then Digimon Survive comes out at the end of the month as well. The new Digimon game.
Okay. That'll be the end of it.
That'll be at the end of it. That's a tactical RPG. So that'll be fun.
No, you're gone. You're gone.
I'm gone. It'll take 30 minutes to do half a level. I'm gone. I'll see you guys in like 3 months. So
I wonder if they still have the system where you can still evolve into the Poopmon.
Oh yeah, no, in the RPG one that's on PS4 and Switch and all that stuff, the golden or the platinum poop is the one that is key to leveling up your Digimon as fast as possible.
Love it. I love it.
Yep. And if you want more gold, use the gold one. They knew what they were doing. So getting into today's festivities.
Yeah, the whole thing we're here for.
Yeah, it is Ultraman Day. Happy Ultraman Day. Yes, today is actually Ultraman Day.
Ultraman Day. That's dope. I didn't know that today was Ultraman Day. What makes it Ultraman Day?
I don't know. It's July 10th, so it's Ultraman Day. I'm assuming that's when the original premiered or something like that.
We'll go with it.
Yeah. So In lieu of that, we have a little bit of an extra dingy on the docket today. We're going to be talking about the top 5 Kamen Rider final forms for secondaries. Finals movie forms. We kind of mixed them all together because they are interchangeable, I think, in some people's brains. But before that, we checked out the first episode of Ultraman Decker, the newest Ultraman. And so Ultraman Decker is something.
Ultraman Decker. Well, if it's following Trigger, there was.
It is a direct sequel, it seems.
Yes, the Guts guys are part of this world pretty directly. So there's not too much of a stretch that they did for this. I don't have much more than that beyond setup here.
So the little blurb we got so far is it's the 32nd entry of the Ultraman series and 25th anniversary of Dyna. It's the sequel to Trigger, like we just said. It takes place 7 years, I believe they said. 7 years after Trigger, or the end of Trigger. And the threat of a monster attack fades, and Earth seems once again at peace. Humanity turns its eyes to the stars and heads to space, while its monster attack countermeasures continue to shrink. In this new age, when Sphere, an invading swarm of mysterious floating objects, begin to attack Earth, humanity loses contact with space and becomes a lone star. Their attack throws our hero, Kanata Asumi's peaceful life into chaos. This poor dude is just trying to deliver goddamn rice crackers.
He's like the happiest busybody ever. Like, he was so much energy compared, like the last hero I wanted to vibe with was Orb. And he's so opposite this guy. I was like, oh man, he's so bubbly. Is that what Trigger was? Because are they all bubbly?
Yes and no. So Trigger's protagonist was very trying to be like a bubbly protagonist, but it kind of felt really forced. At least to me. His name's Kengo. If anyone watches the stuff on Tsuburai's channel, you've seen the ads of they show their own stuff consistently. Even when you're watching the show, they'll have an ad for the show in the show. I don't know if you noticed that while we were watching Decker.
Oh my god, yeah.
There was just a commercial for Decker in the show. I was like, wait a minute.
It was Decker selling you Decker because Dino was behind him.
And so that happens in Trigger, and like it was kind of like Jeed, where his henshin kind of bugs me, and that really it just put a bad taste in my mouth. He does the same similar kind of like whiny scream, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as bad in show. Like, it's really just the first episode, but then of course that's the like clip that they use for that commercial. So like that's the one you hear the most.
Yeah. It's cards. The gimmicks are cards and the Digi Armor Egg.
Yes,
thingy.
because Ganba Rising games. That's why it's cards this time. I don't know if you caught that too.
Did not.
Yeah, so in the episode as well, there's a Ultraman Destiny, I believe is the game it's called, and it's essentially Ganba Rising, where you take these cards, you can take them to the game, and you get the character in the game. And they also work with this new toy gimmick because marketing. So that's the new shtick this time.
Right. Well, so basically, Asumi's parents won a raffle to go to Mars because that's just a thing that happens after Elon Musk takes over the world. Red City on Mars is attacked and I guess destroyed because it's not really touched on beyond that first explosion. Yep. They're attacked by like giant fucking gallbladders. Yep. Is that what they are? Is this like a standard enemy that I haven't met?
Again, this is my very limited
Ultraman
knowledge.
Same.
So those looked very similar to an enemy in Ultraman Nexus. When I was watching that, and I don't remember if they were a common enemy or if they were just like in one episode for something. But they were in Ultraman Nexus. They were the same kind of spherical things.
Gallbladders.
Peacemaker saying the game's been around since Orb, which I honestly would believe that. I just don't follow those things at all. And I've seen a couple that would actually make sense because I've seen a lot of like Jeed has a bunch of really cool forms that are in like video game art of some kind, which I'm assuming is this Ganba Rising game. So yeah, and Mark saying he loves card gimmicks, but he's tired of card gimmicks because of Ganba Rising machines. Yes,
I'm just saying. Ever since Orb, it's just been how many more can we mix up and match this time? Like, anyway, so the giant gallbladders are attacking Earth, or they attack the Red City, and then they show up on Earth and start to cause shit. The Guts team shows up, they get stomped out, surprisingly, and then we are introduced to, I guess the supporting characters. Kirino, who is a security guard for the TPU, whatever they're called. And Ryumon, who is the stiffest, most boring actor I have ever seen in a while. Like,
do you like watching Wood emote? Because that's how Wood emotes.
Wood would emote more enthusiastically than this guy. He was so dead behind the eyes. Like, look, I'm not saying I know you can get typecasted in roles like this, but give me a shot. Give somebody who wants to be there a shot, because this dude did not do anything other than read his line, and I really thought he was a red shirt. I was waiting for him to get off, but no. And I really am sorry that he's going to be in this show, because it was not a good impression at all in every line.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if they gave him like the robo companion that some Ultramen get, it'd be kind of cool. Like, I wouldn't hate it, because that would kind of make up for it. It was kind of like what's his face in Forza when he got the power dizer. It's like, oh look, he's more than just dumb football man with a heart of gold.
But anyway, so after we're introduced to those, we see the kaiju that attacks after they drop whatever make my monster grow situation. I like this kaiju. This kaiju
was goddamn cool looking. The Spherosaurus.
Is that what it's called?
It's called the Spherosaurus.
It's an angry. Imagine like if the forearms of Popeye were like encased in cat and chitin. You know what I mean? Like it's a giant dinosaur Popeye armed with a
monstrosity
with a saber helmet head. Like it was everything that the guys were like, all right, what do we need here? We need a giant dinosaur. We need giant arms. Why don't we put a sword on its head? And give it like the weirdest cry ever. It sounded like the sound mixing was kind of fun with this, because it sounded like they played a cry and then cut it off halfway.
It also sounded like they took some like Mothra cry, something that wasn't like very suitable for this thing's lung capacity, and did one of those, but like also mixed it with like a Godzilla style, like the 2014 Godzilla, where it has like rumble to it. I was here for it. I really like this design, honestly. I thought it was really sick.
It was a sick design, but that cry really hung me up for a bit, because it reminded me of the cry Gatak. Remember when we first are introduced to Hyper Kabuto?
Yes.
And Gatak gets off by that fucking weird blue weak little noise thingy? That same annoying chirp was played over and over and over and over and over again, and that's how I felt with this one. I was like, I love this design, but that cry is not good. Not good.
That's fair. What did you think of the fight? So once Kengo eventually gets swallowed by one of these spheres trying to protect people.
Kanata gets absorbed by one of the
there it is. Asumi, I think his name is right. Kanata Asumi, something like that.
I still don't understand if he survived or if he's actually dead, but whatever. Decker.
I was going to ask you, because he kind of just does like a Gotenks shout into the ether and rips a hole in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Like his willpower overpowered the bile explosion.
And then Decker just found him that way, I guess.
Or was he always inside? Anyway, Decker was there apparently, and he talks to him internally, and Asumi's like, me, you want me, my body, just the typical, it's the same shit.
But he doesn't actually talk. Like, we should preface this one with it's another like Trigger didn't talk either. Decker in this just kind of makes like kind of noises.
It's the alien language that would probably be like Cthulhu. It would drive us crazy
not.
If we heard it.
I was a little upset though. It wasn't a Shuach, at least, No,
I'm better with this, because now we don't even have to associate that. All right,
I like the Shuach.
Decker broke through, gives him the Digi Armor egg. To summon him. I didn't realize that it's actually Decker's face.
Yes.
That I didn't, because I thought it was a Digi egg.
Nope.
But
Digi Armor Energize.
Yeah, and that's all I'm expecting him to say from now on. And if he doesn't, then I'll dub it every time. The first henshin though. I guess all first henshins are dope, because this one was very colorful. It was fine. Yeah, it wasn't like over the top, but because how Ultraman is Ultraman, so formulaic, I was like, I couldn't tell the difference between him and any other person who gets it and transforms for the first time.
The only thing with Decker is I could kind of tell the difference, because he has that like thing going on the armor.
I mean, just the way.
Oh, the henshin itself.
Always,
Yes.
It's always the same. I'm gonna die. Blah blah. You know what I mean?
The name of the Digi Egg, just so you know, Peacemaker's helping us out here like always, is called the D Flasher.
No, it's not.
It's called the D Flasher. The Ultra D Flasher and the Ultra Dimension cards. Oh my goodness.
His form, I wrote his form is called Flash form.
Yep.
Oh my god.
The Ultra D Flasher.
Ultra D Flash.
Yeah.
To give him the Flash form. Thanks, guys. You are awesome.
The Dick Flasher. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
The very phallic jewel that shows up as well when it flips open.
The Ultra D Flasher.
The Ultra D Flasher. They pulled no punches on that one. Well, this just made the episode like 4 times better.
I didn't know. And they don't even say it because I'm pretty sure if they did, I'd have been fucking out. Like, wait, what?
I will say with this henshin, my issue is like he literally goes from what is this thing to knowing exactly what it is and full like episode 10 Toku henshin in like half a second.
I will always hate that about every Toku hero. You should not be an instant badass.
I
should not.
Will always appreciate, no matter how I feel about Deno, and that wavers very much, I will always appreciate his first henshin into platform because he accidentally scans the thing because the belt just like showed up on him.
And he's never comfortable. That's the whole thing. He's never okay with it.
Even in the liner form, he is trash.
Even other people are fighting with him, so to speak. He's still like, that's awesome. That's consistency. This, he's like, everybody's great. Fuck, the world's blowing up.
Let me do this sick, super choreographed, ultra flash my D. There you go. We did it. We did it.
D-Flash.
The D-Flash. Yep.
So, in terms of the choreography, though, I'll give it that when he chops the horn off, the blade horn, that was pretty dope.
Oh, yeah,
sure. The Seljin beam, which is another Spacian.
Yeah, they all have their Spacian beam, you know.
This one's called Seljin, whatever.
And it's purple and green, which is a cool little combination. I thought it was a cool beam. Honestly, overall, the fight was like the most Ultraman fight of like, if I had to show an example of what I always talk about with Ultraman, where it's just like a bunch of 5-year-olds in costumes bouncing off each other, that's what this fight felt to me. It literally started and then I looked down at my phone because I was bored almost instantly.
It's formulaic. It was very
extremely formulaic. Very
expected. Nothing beyond him cracking the horn off, doing the Seljin beam was any different than what I would expect. The only thing is that they did show that he pushed past his limit. He was blinking thing going up in space trying to take out as many of them.
Yep.
And then they beat him.
That part was pretty cool. I did like that.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna unhenshin now. We're gonna go and have the
spaceship that they were using fly up there or some nonsense. Yeah.
No, he tries to do that, gets smacked back to Earth, and they put an entire barrier around the Earth. So now we're stuck, apparently. They cut us off from communication from Mars and all the other stuff we have going on, like all the satellites, everything. It's basically like forcing the Earth into a dark age, and I thought that was fucking cool.
I'm here for it. I will say, not the best first impression for a first episode. Also, not the worst. It was very like
formulaic.
It was, yes, that is the perfect word to describe it. It was just like, I was like, yep, this is Ultraman. Like, that's how I felt the entire episode.
I know what I'm in for. I expect everything that's going to happen.
Yeah, and since Ultraman Z, like, I've really enjoyed exploring Ultraman because I really love that show. Like, that was a great season of Toku, in my opinion. And every of the newer ones, Trigger and this one, I've just felt like very, that's Ultraman. You know, there's nothing that's keeping me hooked like there is in Ultraman Z.
That's why I felt such a strong connection to Orb, because it wasn't anything that I was used to.
Yeah.
And it gave me a hero that I like, not a happy-go-lucky winner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to hate too much on it.
No, it's only the first episode. Like, they got time to fix it.
Yeah, well, if they do.
If they do. Trigger is very, like, Trigger literally stays at one pace and speed and feeling the entire time.
That's what I'm worried about.
And that's kind of what everyone did not like about it. So.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be the same thing here. It's just,
probably
more of the same. More of the same. More of the safe.
Yeah. I'm excited though because we're getting closer and closer to Ultraman Nexus, and I genuinely like that one too because it's very dark and gritty, and that was the same year as Kabuto, I believe. So we're getting pretty close to that. I'm excited to see what goes down with Ultraman, Nuevo or whatever. So
dark year.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's Ultraman Decker. That is free right now on the Tsuburaya YouTube page. They continue to be the gold standard of what toku distribution should be. I know it's not available in all countries, but they're getting there. It's a lot better than some other ones. So yeah, support official releases. Speaking of official releases, we got some news about that today. We'll get into that. Yeah, we have some real good announcements from a little anime expo over the weekend.
I heard about that.
Mark is hopefully optimistic Decker will be better than Trigger. It can't be. I mean, it could be worse because Trigger, it just was boring, honestly. That's his biggest thing.
Well, let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
Seeing as to how we're not so versed enough that we can immediately tell the difference between every Ultraman.
Yeah.
You did say you like this design.
Yep.
How important are designs to you when it comes to a secondary rider?
Pretty freaking important, honestly.
Yeah? Is that the determining factor, or is there a power scaling to your madness?
Well, there's usually a pretty effects factor to it as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but for the most part, I would say it's. I have to like the secondary from the get-go, and then if their previous forms kind of hitch me, I'm probably gonna like the final form for the most part. So
I came to realize that when I was putting together a couple of these lists, I realized that a lot of the secondary designs I really like. A lot of the secondary riders I don't like.
That's fair. That's honestly really fair. I feel like a lot of secondaries, at least for the designs I like, are very either flat or one note or just don't really do a whole lot. But there is some in this list as well that I think are almost integral to at least the side character stories. Yeah. Fair.
Okay. Yeah, I mean when the character is integrated enough with the plot, Grease, that I can overcome even a design that I don't like enough to like it even more.
Okay.
Example is Grease. I've never been too big on the Splash driver.
Yeah.
I always thought it was just different enough that it's obviously its own thing, but it isn't as good as the build driver in my eyes.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing about the Splash is the crushing and the jelly look, and it was just But Grease had this robot, remember the level in Sonic, the Grease thingy?
Yep.
The oil level. That's the vibe I got looking at Grease the first time. I'm like, it's just heavy machinery type of thing.
Yeah.
But the character behind Grease is.
You mean Kirine? Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, Otoya is amazing. But it really was the fact that this character pulled when the story started to spiral, and you're like, wait, now they're introducing countries and different things like that. Oh no, this is gonna get out of hand. They're like, okay, we're gonna give you that through this character and his story, and you're gonna like it, and we know that. Because by the end of it, you're going to be eating out of Otoya's fucking hand.
Making fourth wall breaking self-rental, pokes at previous characters an actor may or may not have played does help your situation as well.
Yeah, but it could only be done through somebody as charismatic as him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You couldn't have the guy who just did what's this guy? We just watched him in that other movie we covered. Oh man. We just did it 2 weeks ago. Anyway,
the Veil thing?
Characters like that aren't good to do that stuff with.
Yeah.
Because Otoya is, and I'm still calling him Otoya. You know what I mean? Come on.
I mean, that's fair. Where does, if you had to put a top 5, where does is he your number 5? Where would you?
He's my number 1.
He's your number 1. Oh, your favorite one, right out the gate. Okay.
Right out the gate, he's my number 1 pick because I can overcome my sort of distaste for his basic design. Grease Blizzard, though. Grease Blizzard. I don't like Perfect Kingdom. Do you like Perfect Kingdom?
I was about to ask you, what do you think about Perfect Kingdom?
I don't like it so much.
You don't
it
like
really
it?
felt like a clean, polished birth
Mm-hmm.
where they just like slapped everybody else's shit onto him.
Yeah.
It kind of looks okay because they went the extra mile to make it cohesive, but it still just feels
Yeah.
like a crane attached to his arm. You know what I mean? Like it's not that great.
I like it. I just don't think it's as strong as any of his other forms. Well, his other two forms, I should say.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
like the idea behind it, I think, more than anything. You know, him, you know, pulling his comrades out, whatever, you know, the memory out to make a new form out of it. That's classic final form kind of thing. I'm here for it. I just don't think it's as strong as Grease Blizzard or Base Grease. So,
you know, Base Grease has this flair to it that just, again, it sparks that industrial metallic
yeah.
grunge, but he's such a badass with it too.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I started strong.
You just went right to the first one.
I
okay.
just went right to number one. Holy
okay.
Fuck.
I mean, if we're gonna do that, I gotta give it to my boy Fua, honestly.
Ooh.
And okay. This again, I should mention that my list probably changes weekly. It all depends, but
it depends on the episode.
It depends on the episode. It depends on how I'm feeling. But at the end of the day, honestly, if I'm going with just final forms, Rampage Gatling is one of the best final forms ever designed. Period. Main, secondary, tertiary, quadritriary, whatever the hell you want to call it. It is one of the cleanest, sexiest, coolest designs in Kamen Rider, in my opinion.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I mean, and it goes even more with the lore behind it. You know what I mean? Like everything that built up to that moment for that engine. Oh.
And like this is our first Reiwa series. We've talked about it before, but we kind of had this like Showa Heisei representation thing going on where he represented more of the Heisei era of Kamen Rider. And in his final form, it kind of culminates into this version of he's using all of his past stuff together, right? Like the first time I saw the power finisher where he stomps the ground and sends Yua flying into the air while he chomps the hell out of her, or when he clotheslines her.
When it had to be Yua too.
It had to be Yua. No one else had to eat that clothesline besides Yua at that point, except maybe Towser. But Yua was the one who ate that clothesline and was tossed around like a child. Oh my goodness. The debut to this form was one of the sickest things I have seen in a very, very long time. And it still sticks out to me. And when I watch it, I still get the same hype to it. It is such a good form.
It has that indomitable impact. Like whenever he debuted a form, like Assault Vulcan, right? That's the right word. Assault Vulcan. When he debuted that, how he bodied and the gun fu that he did in just that one was half as cool as this one. You know what I mean? Like every form he displayed this level of badassery that was just even better than before. Yeah. And God, like now you have me remembering when she had the fighting jackal form against it, right?
Yep, that was when she had jackal.
Grabs her face and throws her
around.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that is by far. And then it's a lot of those little things on how it uses the other animals, right? Like when he does the actual shooting final, the wings stick into the ground to brace his ass when he fires this thing. It is like such a cool form. And if you want to talk about style and substance and badassery, this is one of them. And then 2 episodes later, we get Jin's final form in the Burning Falcon. Great. It was all beautiful. It was a great set of episodes. So for me, that is by far my favorite final form, I think. Rampage Vulcan, Rampage Gatling, whatever you want to call it, Rampage Vulcan.
I think 01 had a lot of designs that I liked more than I didn't. Like Towser got old because they didn't do anything. But even if they did a little, you know what I mean? Like maybe a different palette, it would still be okay. You know?
I will say, I just had it up on the screen. I'll bring it back up. I will say something about 01 is I think its forms got weaker as the show went on, sans Vulcan and like Burning. But I mean, as and not just the show itself, like the show ends, we get our Karobi, all that kind of stuff. But then we get into like the V Cinemas, the V Cinex, all that kind of stuff. All of those I think are infinitely weaker than anything that showed up in the main series. And that's my personal opinion. And I have on the screen right now the Lone Wolf from the final movie that we watched. I don't like that form. I think it is a poor. I mean, I know most of these are repaints. They're cobbled together stuff, but like this one just doesn't. It didn't have the impact of any of the other forms, and I think Assault Wolf does everything this one does 10 times better. So
it does have more of a closer to 0-1. You know what I mean? Like it looks like a more of a counterpart to 0-1, not just the other rider.
Yeah,
I kind of like it. It's like Ichigata, you know what I mean?
But it's not, because we got Ichigata and it's way cooler. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's a Force Riser that's not a Force Riser because they needed Force Riser parts to use it. So in that respect, you know, I didn't like. I talked about it when we reviewed the actual movie. I didn't like how jarring it was for how blue it was in the scene, and then the form itself is kind of whatever for me. I just, you know, regardless of what happens in the movie, it's. You know, it's fine. Peacemaker saying about the black form of Towser. It's fine. Right. I don't know. I never was really really into Towser's design. I thought it was cool. It never really like ascended to anything else that was happening in the show at the moment. You know what I mean? Like same thing. Driver. Shining Assault Wolf, all of that stuff. Even Metal Cluster. Like I thought those are all cooler than Towser in my opinion.
Metal Cluster was a hell of a debut. Metal Cluster. Because of the locust bits and the trade-off, excuse me, the fact that he had to trade off his armor in order to use attacks. Yeah, that's clever.
I will say another exception to the, you know, Peacemaker saying Black Towser, good one. Hellhopper is also a really cool form.
That's what I was going to give.
Even though it's just Red Shining Assault, I think that's why I like it. It's just Red Shining Assault. But Hellhopper was sick.
Fucking sick. Shining Assault is dope. Who was the one? Not that one. What do you feel about any of Yua's? Nope. Do you like any of that?
Nope.
Not even the B?
The B is fine. It's just it's fine.
It feels more of a Kamen Rider than any of the other ones do.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's just fine. I didn't like the tiger, whatever she got in the movie. I didn't really like Jackal.
Serval tiger.
Yeah, Jackal. Like it didn't do enough for me to actually enjoy it in any way. Peacemaker's saying it's funny because that might have, you know, the Black Towser might have cannibalized the only suit of Towser that they had.
Oh shit, really?
It's possible. I think that's the only thing we've seen, right? In the V-Synex and all that stuff. I think it's the only suit we've seen. So
that's amazing. They're like, oh, we fucked up, guys.
Yeah, we done messed up. Like when they cannibalized the sexiest suit of all time, Dragonic Knight, but we won't talk about that.
Sorry, brother. I really am, man.
Yeah. So it's, you know, while I was thinking of Vulcan and, you know, some other ones on this list, I'm realizing that there's some that have some of my favorite forms. And then at the same time, they also have like my least favorite forms of all time. It's an interesting little, like, for example, Vulcan, like it has the Lone Vulcan, which I really do not like Lone Vulcan. Like I genuinely despise that form. But then he also has Rampage, like, yeah, it's interesting to see sometimes. I think, like you were saying, Grease didn't really jive with you, but then Robot or Blizzard comes out, and like, Blizzard. I mean, let's all be honest. 90% of that hype factor is also, yeah, damn right, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's the impact. I think it's more like I can forgive my less enthusiastic reaction to the design because the character's fucking dope.
Is it that you don't like it, or you just don't think it's like it's kind of meh? You know what I mean?
It's meh. It's not really my style. You know what I mean? Like
That's
for example, my favorite, ironically, my favorite design for a secondary is Gates.
Okay.
I like Gates's the simplicity of it. You know what I mean? Like I don't like over garishness. That's not an upgrade. Like how
Granzio.
Right, but I mean, I had somebody in mind specifically, like Beast, Kamen Rider Beast. His mantle, his simplicity, it still feels like it's out of place. You know what I mean? His whole design has always
that form is fucking trash. That's why
it is, because it's so simple, but it looks so odd in Wizard. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't mesh at all. Where you have fucking Gates, obviously, is the counterpart to Geo. Geo is terrible design. Just nothing great about it other than the writing on the visor. That was pretty much the coolest thing.
Yeah.
But Gates is the vibrant red undersuit, I guess, is the first thing that's like, I like that, more of that. And then his whole the driver being the the higher tone. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was as intense, just in a different. I don't know. Something about Gates has always called me. I just wish it was better.
But would you put
trash.
his final form, and I'm talking the split form?
No,
you don't like that one.
Base Gates, all of his transformations, all of his upgrades, all of that is horrible. They're all trash.
Really?
That's why. Yeah,
I like Revive. Honestly, I like Revive more than Base Gates.
The Brawn, the big,
both of them. I mean, you'd flip any of them. Honestly, they're fine. I like both of them. I prefer the big beefy one, obviously.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I like Shippu because the design looks crisper.
Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, it just looks like he's carrying around a trash can on his chest. Like, let's fucking.
That's pretty much what it is. So, so it's definitely not in like your top 5 though for like final forms, like Gates's final forms.
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah. So that's another example. Like I was saying, like they have like some of my favorite forms, but at the same time they have some of my least favorite forms. Like it's kind of wild.
Exactly.
So
like Trinity.
We're not going to talk about Trinity. Fuck that form.
But oh god, I also it was in the finding of this too. I forgot that Waz's final form is actually Ginga.
Yes.
I forgot.
Yes.
I thought it was an upgrade. No, that's his final form. That is horrible.
Yep.
That is a horrible form.
I don't even think Waz got a movie or anything where he gets a final form.
How could they do a movie with him, bro? Like what?
I don't know. He just screams.
I think, but I remember when we first started talking Kamen Rider, when you first introduced me to all this shit. One of the first designs that I actually really liked a lot was Ibuki, and I don't think I gave Ibuki enough credit for that.
Okay, from Hibiki.
Yeah.
Nice. The trumpet boy.
The trumpet boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the trumpet. I think it was cool. I would agree with you. I think in general, I need to give Hibiki more everything. So, it's fine. He's cool. All the riders are cool in there. I don't know why we needed 2 guitars. I mean, I know why we needed 2 guitars, but yeah, it is what it is. I give any Hibiki design, it gets a pass in my book because I think they're very good because they weren't designed as Kamen Riders and they kind of got folded in. So, they're cool. They're a fun little, I think one of the things Hibiki has going for it is that it wasn't designed as a Kamen Rider, so it makes it stand out. So, Peacemaker assumes Majesty is in a dumpster with the hot glue ride watches somewhere. That is a safe assumption, honestly.
It is burning actively. Can you hear it?
Yeah. I hear the screams of whoever had to put that bullshit together. Next on my list, so this one I'm just gonna not even put them in order at this point, honestly, since we started off with whatever.
We started strong. Let's just go.
This is one that I actively did not like for a very, very long time, but I have come around to it in the last year, 2 years maybe, and that is Zeronos Zero form, the red one.
Ooh.
And it's because it doesn't really change. Yes, other than the rust, and then he's burning the memories of himself. And something about that, I've talked about it before, something about giving up for your power as a hero I think is so cool and is such a good little trope that I think needs to be used more instead of having these big power trip, power fantasy, like Goku bullshit moments. Using the Zero form and having to burn away literal memories of yourself to get power, I think is such a cool thing. I had to give it a shout out on our top 5.
I dig that because another one of my picks is partly because of the design and then the potential of the story before they fucked it up. Espada.
Okay.
Saber, all of Saber's, Saber himself is my favorite design, but of the show. But Espada.
Are we talking 3 volume or the one from the movie?
I'm talking about Vanilla.
Okay.
Vanilla Espada had the potential to be dope as shit because it had the same potential that Saber had. I'm not too keen on the 3-book look. It's 2 gold. It's literally just a block of gold. I mean,
I like it.
it's fine, but it's almost like Senki suffers from the same thing. Dai Senki line, whatever. It's too much blue. You know what I mean? Like there's not enough separation there for me to see the rider. It just looks like he's just all gold. But that's why I like the first one.
But is Saber 3 volume too much red for you?
No, you never have enough red. That's just me.
You racist.
But no, I mean that's the only thing that stops me from liking Espada more is because it suffers from the Gates syndrome where the upgrades are just not as crisp as I like the vanilla.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the movie form? Where does that stand?
You mean the primal
Yeah, the primal repaint.
The Arabic, the Arabian Night one.
Yeah,
it suffers from that too. I can't get with it because that look should have only been for the Zenkaiger remake.
That look should not have the big dragon claw on its chest is my thing. The fact that it keeps the big dumb dragon claw is really what kills it for me.
It shouldn't have even been like what was wrong with just taking the armor he had now and making it black? Like,
I don't see why they couldn't have, and I mean I'm sure it's because again they probably only had 1 or 2 suits, why they couldn't have taken pieces of Zhuo and kind of played back to that aspect where they take, pieces.
Zhao.
Yeah.
Zhao.
And just take pieces because he had both swords at one point, and I know it's not really like that, but Peacemaker's saying it should have been modified into a moon. It absolutely should. You could have just taken the middle finger out and made it a moon. Would have been great.
That's good thinking. That's good thinking.
That's a really good suggestion. It just the big dumb dragon claw is what kills that one for me. But I agree. I think actually I agree and disagree at the same time. I love Espada. We talked about it when we finished the show that like I really came around on that character in general. I really did not like him for a long time. And his base design is probably my favorite of the 3 base designs. I really like 3 volume though. I think it's cool.
I want to like it more. Okay. Now, let me ask you, since I know you're big on Gatak, so we don't need to go there.
We don't need to go there. I've been there multiple times in multiple lists at this point.
In terms of secondaries.
You mean main characters? Yes.
Gatak or Knight?
Gatak. But like X-Aid Knight?
Yeah. No. Knight.
Ren. Ren. Gotcha. Gatak.
You think?
Yeah. In my opinion, yeah. You mean like which one is more of a main character? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think that's hard because I think Ren becomes like a main rider essentially. Like he kind of evolves from like brooding Sasuke boy into like a main Kamen Rider character. While Kagami is like he's Midoriya, right? Like it's his coming of age story essentially is what Kabuto is.
We can agree that Shinji and Tendo don't change.
No, not at all. Very little, if anything. Tendo definitely does not. Shinji might a little bit. I honestly don't remember like subtleties of the show. But yes, I think those are a very good comparison because they both are essentially the main characters. So
that's what I felt like looking at. I mean, for one, Knight. I like Knight's design grew on me a lot more because of the survive form and its simplicity. Like
I like the survive form a lot.
I always considered survive to be like a Super Saiyan upgrade. You know what I mean? Like it's exactly what they got.
Yep.
Yeah, it's exactly what they got, just a little bit stronger and just a bit of a change. But that's thinking of it like that. Knight himself has been like a new appreciation for me because I like Knight. I'm not too keen on the spear or lance, like meh, but
you don't like the sword and the shield thing he's got going on?
The drill attack is where it's at.
Oh, yes. Oh, you're talking about his base spear thing he's got going.
Yeah, the base.
Yeah, gotcha. His sword vent is the lance. I'm okay with it. I like his survive sword and shield a lot though. We're talking secondaries, K20. Our favorites, final forms, movie forms, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're talking about.
I was putting together a big list and we just kind of started the conversation and now we're just continuing.
Yep. But yeah, this is definitely not one of my favorites compared to some other ones over the years. Like 5-6 years ago, probably, but I think we've had some really strong ones in the last few years. But I've told the story that Ryuki is what got me into it, and that's how I got you into it because I threw the DVDs at you. So I think it has to go on there as an honorable mention just for that. And survives are very strong. Have you ever seen the SIC versions of the like Raya, Oja, and Ryuga? They all get the survives.
SIC Ryuga.
Yep. Ryuga gets an SIC version. Oja gets one as well. And then so does Raya. Oja's is pretty sick, actually. Oja gets like a cool spiky whip thing. And then Raya just gets a big dumb crossbow.
Oh, okay, I like that.
Yeah,
that's nice.
And I think just about everyone, I want to say like Tiger gets one. I forget Tiger's name. But the Tiger guy gets one as well. It's just a bigger, dumber axe. Yes, I forgot about that Peacemaker. The Sword and Shield has a crossbow mode, which is pretty cool.
There's a crossbow mode. Oh, yeah.
Knight's Sword and Shield is a crossbow as well.
See,
which is pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean,
survives are cool. They should have did more in the show. It's a shame they didn't. Like, I would rather have gotten a new survive form than the 13th whatever, the chameleon guy.
I don't see a Zolda. There's no Zolda? That's
Zolda
shocking.
is an SIC one as well, I believe. I could be wrong, but yes, Zolda has one as well. Or at least there's some kind of concept art of it.
That's the third one they made. There it is. Yeah. Oh, wow.
I believe it's an SIC.
Yeah, look at that. That's so nice.
Yep. Gatak and Knight kind of have the same energy, and I feel very differently about their final forms because I don't like Hyper Gatak. I like the helmet a lot. I don't like the chest piece. I wish it opened up like Kabuto. So, yeah.
I've never been keen on the stacking things. For example, Snipe
Okay.
compared to Brave. Brave, Tattle Legacy,
Tattle Fantasy, both of them.
Tattle Fantasy is the like the edgelord, of course. But
that's the one I like.
It doesn't look as garish as Snipes Battalion, whatever the game is.
Battleships, yeah.
Battle my face with all these freaking
Mattel Snipe, if you will.
He from his his introduction, dude, like that the henshin to the roll blast to all that, he was such a dynamic thing. I thought he was gonna be like a gun fu guy, and then they turned him into literally a battleship, and I never understood that. And it started with that dragon power up too, bro. Bullshit. The bike.
Yes, that started with laser. Let's be honest here. Can I make a confession to you?
Go for it.
I never saw this henshin. I never saw it in the show. I didn't get that far.
You've never seen Snipes?
I've never seen this thing move. I've only seen this picture.
That's fine because it doesn't. That's all he does. Is just stand there.
I figured he just stands there and blasts.
Yeah, that's all he does.
You know, I should say I haven't seen like anything where he's prominent. I'm sure I saw like a couple episodes around the Muteki stuff where he just kind of stands there and does that. But I literally have never seen this henshin and like what it does, the episode where it premiered, anything like that.
I think they and I don't know if anybody else agrees with me, but they nerfed Snipes' plot and traded it for Paradox, and I think that worked better because it was more.
Paradox was interesting.
And that's what I mean. Like, I guess they gave up on him to go full body on Paradox, because after Paradox they tried to tie him back in and it was too late. You know what I mean? That's how I felt about it. But I never liked anything beyond his introduction. And all of X8 stuff with the attachments with the bikes and all that shit. The only one that I like is the level 10 Genom Kurotos. But that's because how zombie different it is, and the fact that it can kill legit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That was one of the coolest things about
it. Was
that
cool.
Form.
Yeah, but because you premiere in the Christmas episode and murder one of everyone's favorite characters.
Yeah. Oh god, it was dope. That was dope.
Oh man. Yeah, I have to give it to. They also nerfed Poppy Nico plot. They were setting up with Lovica.
Yeah. Poppy too. I don't know. Poppy's rider form was
what you expected it to be.
Yeah, it's fan service, straight up. There was nothing about it. And then the other chick too. Her grunt rider form too.
The Ryo Trooper. Yeah.
Yeah. I really wanted them to do more with these characters, like especially after Paradox. There was such a lack of fire for me, but. You know, because Game Deuce is such a side. He's worse than the shoehorn that fucking Drives villain was. Because Game Deuce was like, oh, he's a really big problem. Maybe. Yeah. Okay, no, not really. He just can pause the game. You know what I mean? Like, really?
Yeah. It was not great. Of the X8 crew, my personal favorite was the Paradox. All of his forms I thought were the strongest,
the puzzle
possibly of the show. Both the switching. So it wasn't necessarily the puzzle and the fighter, like either form individually. It was the fact that he switches between them pretty easily, and then
his whole design was dope. Like his whole
shtick was dope. And then he finally gets the 99, like the one with that cool axe that can turn into the gun, like the mixed form. I thought that was a really cool design. But you know, the base one is fine. It just, you know, like I said, each individual form doesn't really do anything for me, but the fact that he could switch between them I thought was a really cool thing. And that was really the first time I can remember like seeing something like that for an enemy, at least. You know, I'm sure I'm forgetting something.
Well, no, because I mean, in terms of enemy riders,
other than like, you know, other than something like a main rider using their gimmick kind of thing is what I mean.
Well, the dual one for X8, the brothers.
That's what I should say. A dual device like that.
Yeah, that was dope. Like that was one of my favorite forms of Fizz because it did imply more.
Yeah.
But the trade-off was that one was more of the other. That's cool when you do shit like that.
Yeah.
But when you have laser and you just look like a kaiju inside of a rider dressed like a kaiju, no. And the karakiri, gamakiri, whatever
the scythe things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not the weapons themselves, but that form where it was just basically a dynasty game.
Yeah.
Was the most atrocious of them. Like the rider being a bike, I could be okay with after bracing for that reality every time he henshins. Sure. But then to transform from the bike to a humanoid bike with sickles, I don't know.
Yeah.
Laser was hopeless. And then they did the Dangai form where it's just like this weird jaw looking thing.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to talk about that form.
None of his designs looked okay. None of them. They all look trash. And I'm sorry.
Let me pull that up for the people at home.
Yeah. Oh God, look at it.
The repaint of Giri Giri. That's what we're looking at right now. Yeah, it's weird. It's strange. I don't like it. I don't like it. I will say for another one that like I genuinely love the show. I love their base form. I love everything about them. And this really isn't a secondary, but it's kind of like not really a series to be like, it's a side series. So I'm just going to mention it anyway. The Amazon Omega, the Neo Omega.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Yeah, guys. The one that premieres in the second season.
The second season, Delta? Is it Delta?
No. I forget what his. Yeah, I think it's Delta. Neos is the kid in the second season, but then Omega gets his own form of that, and it is not good. They ruined a really good suit for this thing.
It's the whole thing that you're not quite fond of with Veil, where it's just like an attachment. You know
stuff what I mean? On stuff that really doesn't make any sense. I wasn't feeling it, and I did story wise. I mean, the second season is just not great. But yeah, that was one I just wanted to mention as well, since we were talking about kind of like the ones that don't really work. But on the other end of that, one that I feel like this might be kind of a hot take, because I feel like a lot of people really don't like this form, and I love this form.
Okay, we both got hot takes. Go for it.
So I'm gonna say Deep Spectre, and I know Sin Spectre obviously is the one, but I genuinely love Deep Spectre.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying the opposite.
No. Everyone hates Spectre and Ghost in general. I'm saying that is one of the coolest forms ever.
Yes. And we have said it forever, though. We've always said it.
This is nothing new. This is nothing new. And Sin Spectre, I will gush about it all day. You know, we don't have to have it. We both love the Mugen type forms. They're
Do you like
beautiful.
Sin Spectre? I don't think you had the same reaction, though, because Sin Spectre put you on a level.
Yeah.
But Houdini form really took you through a loop, bro. You were hooked on Houdini form.
Houdini form was sick. I bought, listen to this, folks. Ready? I bought the goddamn SH Figure Art bike just so I could get the Houdini icon. That's how bad I had it.
When you told me that, I was like, wait, really?
Yeah, that's how bad I had it for Houdini. That thing, when he chains him up and kicks his ass, I thought that was the coolest shit ever. If you guys don't know, I am a huge fucking Robotech fan. In the third season of Robotech, they equip their goddamn motorcycles like armor.
So sick. So sick.
And that's what I loved about it so much.
I'm not surprised, because Houdini was like, we were like a vibe for Houdini. We're like, holy shit, I hope fucking this guy gets it. No.
It was so good. And then Deep Spectre comes out, and like they didn't really go into the Abyss storyline at all. No. They literally went, oh yeah, this one comes from the Abyss, and that was about it. But
they did that with Sin Spectre.
Yeah. Sin and Deep Spectre, they are beautiful, delicious. I want to lick their horns.
They really are. Really are.
And just for the sake of pulling it up, I'm going to pull up Houdini real quick here, because I want to look at it one more time. Because this fucking thing, oh my God, it's so good.
Where is it? That bastard right here. Where are you, you beautiful bastard?
There it is.
Spectre Houdini.
Just the full-on bike on his back. It's so gorgeous. The kick is so good.
It's so dope. this thing is like
it didn't make any sense either. His ass just shows up in chains to be like, oh, I gotta be more powerful.
Doesn't he just he just gets handed Houdini too, right? Or
he gets handed it or something. I don't remember. But then he's just like, Houdini's pissed off because the spirit's in the thing, and then they're like wraps him in chains, and he's got to figure out how to get out of them. It was absolute nonsense, and I loved every second of it.
That's the saddest part with Ghost is we loved the design so much, and we wanted it to be so much better. Poor fucking thing.
And at the same time, we will be the first ones to tell you it's absolute trash.
It's absolute garbage. Do not like Ghost. You should not like Ghost. And
you should not, but we'll fucking love it.
But justifiably, because Mugen, I will burn for Mugen.
And just for everyone, I still have not gotten a Sin Spectre icon. I will get one before I die. There's Sin Spectre. So God, it's so beautiful, and the fact that it's based on the sins, so cool. Yeah, seven goddamn finishing attacks in one shot. That was so sick.
Which kind of reminded me of like how we had the 7 deadly sins and all that shit, the holy aspect, all that shit. To one of our older favorites, Kiva. Ixa was one of my first favorites. Yep. Design wise, and I remember hopping up on Kiva when after Ryuki, I think I saw Kiva, and I was like, dude, who is Exe?
Yep.
Who is Ixa? Yep. And you were like, oh, he's kind of like the Belmont to Kiva's Dracula. I was like, what? So immediately getting that idea in my head, I was like, I fucking love the Belmont.
Hang on now, I have to interrupt you for a second because K20's in the chat trying to throw some goddamn slander that Ghost is better than Blade.
I mean, agreed, brother. Agreed, friend. You are cool. He's fine, man. He's fine. He's fine. He has the idea here. It's the fact that Ghosts. See, the fact is, Ghost, you're getting shit, and Blade, they sneak it up on you. You know what I mean? Like,
listen, you get nothing but perfection with Blade. You shut your goddamn mouth right now. Whoa, Chris, Paw Patrol is better than Blade. Get your ass out of my chat.
I mean, no,
what's up, dude?
Bro,
don't go. I love you.
Paw Patrol. I don't even know what that is. I just know that kids watch it.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's a bunch of dogs, and they took the cop out because everyone hates cops.
Did they fire the dog cop? Are you serious?
They fired the fucking dog.
Yeah, we got firefighters. We got ambulance. We got any cops? Nah. We don't need any of them. We got an ambulance.
Yeah, we got the fire truck Dalmatian. We're good.
What is this random one with a fucking pink hat? What is your job? What do you do? Oh my god.
They're a cheerleader. I don't know, man. You just Chris, you come in here and derail the whole conversation. Ixa Rising.
Ixa, yes.
Fuck this form. I hate this form.
I like Rising. I like the idea that it's burning up, or it's burning out, I should say, because it's like he had no other option. You know what I mean? I hate that. I really don't like the belt effect after, like, the base one is dope.
You know what kills it for me is the stupid face gun. The faceplate phone gun.
The phone gun. Yeah, the fucking...
It comes out of his face. If it was just a phone gun, I could accept it.
But he's putting his money where his mouth is. You know what I mean? He's going to back up what he's going to say to you.
So I have to back on Paw Patrol for one moment because this is absurd. Okay. Chase is the case. Marshall is fired up, and Sky is ready to fly. Is apparently their Toku roll call in this show.
High flying Sky. She's a plane. Oh. And
Peacemaker's also throwing. There's just a war going on in the chat right now. Peacemaker's saying Kabuto is garbage and belongs in a dumpster.
Oh my god, dude! There's just flames.
Yeah, we chose chaos today, chat. I love it.
Kabuto was. If Kagami wasn't in Kabuto, yes. If the heart and soul of Kabuto did not have Kagami, absolutely be trash.
I love Kabuto. It's fine.
I know.
Yep. It's my first serialized Kamen Rider. Okay, leave me alone.
I see her. I see this guy chick. Are they Lucha Libres as well?
Maybe.
Do they also wrestle? Because I see her with a mask.
It's probably the oxygen mask.
Oh, okay.
Yo, K20, you're about to get a timeout over there, my friend. He's like, Kiva 100% trash, but it's better than Blade.
See that, and that's my point. You know what you're getting. They sneak it up on you in Blade. Speaking of Blade, actually, I have one question about Blade.
Yeah. I have lots of answers for Blade.
I didn't know Chalice had a wild form.
Yes, that's his king form.
Is that as powerful as King?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. This is why Chalice is the secondary. I said it. Deal with it.
Oh, not Garen. It's not Garen.
It's not Garen.
I'm sorry.
Tachibana-san is not the secondary anymore. He got dethroned when he didn't get a king form.
Is that the okay? Should that be the quantifying factor? Is a secondary rider supposed to get an upgrade?
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was going with. I think you're not the secondary unless you get a final form.
Yeah, I mean, you should get some kind of final form, and this one matches the power of the main character. So
I still can't believe that. I still don't believe that.
Yeah,
really?
no, yeah,
I thought
it
King
absolutely
form was
is.
like King shit, and that was like top brass.
No, it's the thing. It's the nonsense. Okay, you gotta accept it. You just accept it.
Make me accept it. What's going on in the chat? We have like a fight going on.
Yeah, there's a fight going on, and links don't work.
Oh no.
So there's another invite link to the Discord. How about that? There you guys go. Garen can't decide who he works for, so yes, Chalice is the secondary. Perfect Peacemaker. Exactly. I love it. Did you ever see and this, I promise this will be the last I talk about Blade for right now. No, for this episode, at least since someone mentioned some other bullshit
for like
in the
next
chat.
5 minutes. Yeah,
I'll put a 5-minute timer on it. Did you ever see the Liangle Jack form from the SIC?
No.
So in the SICs, Garen gets a king form, which is really cool looking, actually. It's just a big cannon. I think you actually really like that king form.
Oh, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
It's a big fuck you cannon. And then Liangle gets a Jack form. And that Jack form is terrifying.
Oh my god.
It is so scary.
It's Sao Ren.
It's Sao goddamn Ren.
Oh my god. Look at you.
Yup.
Oh, I see. I can't tell if I like King or Jack form more, but damn.
Okay. I personally,
is that a bullhorn? He has a bullhorn.
He's got bullhorns on his shoulders. Yep. He's got like Saint Seiya Tauros armor going on. And of the SIC forms, I like Liangle's Jack way more than the Garen King form. As much as I love King forms, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't. That's not going anywhere. I just, of the two, I think this is way stronger. Literally.
It has a flail.
It has a flail. Yep. There's a big flail on the end of it. You know who it reminds me of? Since you're here, Chris, we'll talk about Legend Heroes for a moment. It reminds me of the Kid Bull. Do you remember that episode when the 9-year-old would fuck him up for 3 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it reminds me of the stupid Kid Bull.
Wasn't that just like he was a bully? He was just like this asshole kid bully.
Just a bully. That's it.
No, I dig it. I dig that.
Yeah, it's sick. I love the SIC forms. I wish they did more with the SIC forms, like brought them into these VSynX and all that kind of stuff. We'll see.
When it comes to, say you get a secondary who has multiple forms, I realized that maybe they could have done something a little bit more with Axel. Okay. Trial form looks so vastly different from traditional Axel that
one of the reasons why I love it.
Right. So when they do stuff like that, I kind of am afraid because we lose the heart of what made Axel Axel. Was the red with the you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I like for power-ups to maintain more of the core than the addition, because that's what happened with Grateful. You know what I mean? Yeah. Grateful was so different from what I loved about base Ghost that I know Grateful is other people's favorite forms, but because the motif is so vastly different from what I wanted, I couldn't connect with it. So that's what I feel about Axel, where I like base Axel, and maybe I just like the base forms more than a lot of upgrades apparently, but I like base Axel so much because of the helmet design, the armor shoulders.
Yeah.
That when you get Trial, it's like a Dangai, you know what I mean? Stripped down, meant for speed, but so different. You know, I don't know. That's just me.
But I like Trial a lot because it has, and this is, I think, when I give things like this more weight, I guess is the word. It was
like a sword.
Yes. We're not going to. I mean, the trial finisher with the sword is a big part of why I love this form. 199 slashes with the 10-ton sword is pretty fucking sick.
Engine.
Yeah. But this form, and not as strong as some of the other ones, but this form was tied to like a change in the character, right? Like this was. It had a story point to it. Like he's trying to overcome weather because he found out weather, big spoilers for W. No one's seen it yet. He found out weather killed his family. He's trying to overcome weather. And we've talked about before how much of a problem weather was in that show. And it's one of those things where he had to completely change his mindset if he wanted to beat weather. And this is symbolic of that. And that's kind of why I like this form too, on top of the cool, like super speed shit he's got going on.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Fair point.
But I think forms are more entertaining when they have that kind of thing. It's not just like I said, the power trip. You know what I mean? That's why I like the Zero form so much, Rona Zero. And it also is way better than his goddamn Excel booster. I hate this form. It was so bad. The yellow form.
I mean, the yellow, just the fact that the chest alone is like the engine core, and it revolves around him awkwardly flying because it's not. That really
was
flying.
the thing. The design itself, I honestly don't mind that much. I think the chest piece is really cool. It's just the awkward flying with the weird steam coming out of him everywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't imply that he has any control of the flight. It's just like I can. Maybe.
This is the one time I would have preferred a weird CG stunt double to the actual dude flying around.
When flying, for example, has to be done right. When it comes to flying, did you or do you like Meteor?
No, God, no. Get the fuck out of here. You're out of your mind.
Okay. Well, the designs. I don't like the character at all.
No.
The designs.
No.
You don't like any of the designs?
No. Base Meteor's okay.
Base Meteor.
Meteor's okay. Breaker's fucking trash. Meteor Storm, whatever you want to call it.
Meteor Storm is terrible. But I like
goddamn
Meteor
electric Pikachu.
It kind of has like the Final Fantasy VII thing look going for it, so it's kind of like a thing for me.
Yeah.
But other than that, I like the cosmic.
I like that look. I do. I really genuinely like that, and I like the base design too. My issue with it is he has the 3 punches and they basically do the same fucking thing. That's my thing. Like if you're going to go through the trouble of having 3 different planet punch things, make them different.
His belt was another gawky type thing because of the astral switch being so freaking massive.
Forze is the king of awkward belts.
and X8. I don't know who's worse. X8's belt.
X8's is just brighter. They're the same amount of obnoxious.
It's true.
I am not a fan of Meteor at all.
No, I mean
same thing. I would put Meteor and Mach's final form, and I know I just talked about how. I was
gonna say Mach.
I just talked about how story wise it makes sense, but like at that point in their story, I don't think it was strong.
Well, Go's character was complete waste from top to bottom.
Yes,
it was complete waste.
But even at that point, no, I don't think they were at a point to make it have the same impact as something like the trial form. So this weird combo form that he gets, this Chaser Mach, is just not good.
I like that they changed it up enough to actually mesh, because when they did it in the show, it just looked odd because it was just.
Oh, you're talking about I'm talking about the one in the show. I know you mean the blue Chaser one.
Chase Mach, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't like that
Mach
thing either.
Chaser.
Mach Chaser, nice. Yeah, I don't like that thing either.
Chaser. No, I did. At least it looked better because, like I said, the fucking Mach is okay, but it's very Speed Racer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just once it's washed in your head, there's nothing different. Drive had that. I guess it was the red for me, but Drive is never dull to look at.
Yeah.
Dead Heat Mach is horrible.
You don't like Dead Heat? I prefer the Dead Heats to any of his ones he gets after that.
Dead Heat Mach, no. Dead Heat Mach has another one of the overly extended jaw things that I'm just not a fan of. Like Dead Heat Drive with the bike helmet looked better, but
I don't know, 100%.
But I do like Mach Chaser, but I like Plane Chaser better than Mach Chaser. Plane Chaser is sick. Yes, Plane Chaser it encompassed that one of the best stories of Drive. Machine Chaser is, I guess, technically what, a kaiju.
Yeah, that's like a kind of like a Lord Baron sort of form.
Right. Yeah. So the Machine Chaser, to evolve into that chase, with that whole build up, it took just to experience that whole story is why I like Base Chaser better than any of his other ones. The Gold Rhino looks angry as fuck.
I don't like the Rhino either. And you know what it is? It's the gun that has the dumb like little mini sword hilt thing on it. Not a fan. Just the way it sticks out. You know what I mean? Like it's literally the gun, but it just has the blade coming straight out of it.
Like live.
Like
evil.
Like live evil, which we can talk about Holy Live if you want.
I was gonna ask what your opinion is on whether or not the fact that Holy Live is not going to be weaker than another Kagero.
Well, I don't know anything about that because I'm not caught up.
You got caught up. Okay.
No,
nope. You gotta
but Holy Live is fine. I don't think it's the strongest design in the show. I don't think it's the worst design in the show. I think Aguilera's new form kind of takes that for the worst design in the show so far.
Laziest.
It's when it debuted, it was cool. I like some of the stylistic choices that they do. I like the colors for the most part. I wish the eyes were a different color. Story wise, it is what it is.
Honestly, I prefer Evil's design over Holy Live, or even Live.
The longer the show goes on, I talked about how like I'm warming up to the show more and more. The more I don't like any of his forms. That's kind of what it is.
Is it just because you like Hiromi just a little bit more? Is it just the demons that you miss so much?
Kind of, yeah. Like it's the demon aspect to it. And there's nothing wrong with angels. Those can be kind of cool too. Peacemaker's asking if I would like Holy Live in the turquoise rather than the light blue. Probably, like if it was all this kind of turquoise as opposed to this weird metallic blue. It's really the eyes. Like the helmet it needs some separation on the eyes. I wish these were like a gold color almost, something like that. Maybe even some gold accents in here just to break it up a little more. Mark saying Evil's design is still one of his favorites this season, besides Veil, Jack, Revice, and Demons.
Except the Jack form. The Jackal form for Evil was just odd looking. I don't know. It's so off that it works for me. I like that the painted look. I like the splotchiness. I dig it. I dig it a lot.
You know what it is for me too, Holy Live? It feels like the secondary final form that we got right before that, just done worse.
Hyojo
Senki is one of, the thing is right behind me. The big obnoxious toy is sitting right there, right behind me. I love Hyojo Senki. I goddamn love that form. Okay.
I know.
It's so sexy. And then you give me Holy Live, and I'm like, okay, we could do this again, I guess. And it's worse in every aspect, in my opinion. Really so give me more Hyojo Senki. Get Holy Live out of here.
Okay, so Tatagami. Did the Tatagami, obviously you like the hair look and all that shit. It's dope. There's nothing wrong with it. But compare that to your other guy, Cross Z.
Yeah.
Tatagami versus Magma?
Yep, it'd be Magma Dragon.
Really?
So yeah, no, I'm just saying, yeah, that would be his final form. Ooh, that's a toughie. That is a toughie because I feel like they're basically design wise pretty much the same form when you look at them. If you look at them side by side, which I just did on the screen here.
You're just doing actively.
Yeah, I'm literally doing right now. You can see they kind of have the same sort of gauntlets that kind of go into the like V shoulders. One is just ice and one is fire, and that's a fucking cool fight. I'm just gonna say that.
You give Cross Z Radon's mane, and you have the same thing.
Yeah, that's literally the only difference. Other than that, the suits are pretty much the same, and I'm just realizing that right now, and I think that's why I love them both so much. I don't know honestly if I could pick one. It's one of those things that I think would flip flop depending on my mood.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Like I genuinely like right now Hyojo Senki's in my heart because it's more recent too. I haven't seen Magma Dragon do its thing in a little while.
I don't think heart of hearts rewatch is a bad idea.
No, not at all. Maybe a certain Shout Factory could help us out with that. I'm just saying. Hello. Hey, hi. How are you?
It's a possibility.
But Blade first. Thank you. But yeah, like I would say no matter where they fall, because like I said, this list kind of fluctuates, but no matter where they fall, those two are always neck and neck. They hold the same spot because they're essentially the same form, just fire and ice. And I think they have the same kind of like cool factor too. Like he's got the 9 dragon heads that do their thing. You know, Hyojo Senki's got the ice animals that do their thing. It's just, they're both really cool elemental forms.
Of all Banjo's forms, is Magma your favorite? Because I still like the build cross one, but that's just because it looks like.
Let me take a look real quick and I'll answer that. Stall for me while I look.
You have a couple. There's always been, of course, I think in all of build, even though Grease is my favorite character, when Rogue premiered, Rogue was always like, ooh, yeah, and then they freaking murdered his character. But I still think that Rogue is one of the cleanest designs of a purple rider. I can't think of how they would have done better a crocodile design with that motif.
Yeah, I'd give you that. It's definitely not the Splash Driver form, because that Dragon Jelly is trash.
That Dragon Jelly was always the weak. Ugh. I never.
You know, honestly, the Muscle Galaxy is a close second, but it doesn't top Magma. That was the one he got in his Visa Next.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Muscle Galaxy is really cool. That was his like black hole form that he got. I do like the design of that a lot, but it doesn't top Magma Dragon. So I think, Magma Dragon is Cross Z and like the Evil Dragon. Kind of hold the same spot. I think they're both good.
Now that I think about it, that Magma Dragon Henshin, bro. Yeah.
Magma Dragon Henshin. Yeah. That has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I think those are definitely
Hyojo
and Magma are neck and neck.
I have a great matchup for you and the chat.
Okay.
All right. Who takes it and who cries more? Yomotsu Higuri or Kaisha?
Kaisha. Why does that name not sound familiar?
Fies. Kaisa.
Oh, Kaisa. I mean, Yomotsu Higuri, is one of my favorite forms, so I'm going to lean towards that because Kaisa sucks.
I was looking at base Ryugen versus Yomotsu Higuri, and I'm like, I can't say worse or where because the blaster is nice, but it's more of a pea shooter.
His kick is stronger than his blaster, so it's fine.
Yeah. Oh.
I got a Yomotsu Higuri for me. I mean,
I dig it.
They're both assholes. I think Kikes is a bigger asshole in my opinion, just from what he does in the show. Because Ryugen just kind of sort of throws a temper tantrum for 50 something episodes, and that's why Michi did nothing wrong. I said it again.
I have something.
But Yomotsu Higuri is by far one of my favorite designs. I still have the Lockseed floating around somewhere. And I think it is just so cool that it uses the Overlord weapons too. I think that's such a nice touch.
That's true. I got a good one for you though.
Okay.
Dropping this in the chat right now, or in the Discord.
Okay.
The most powerful form of all of Zangetsu.
God.
Zangetsu's forms compare nothing to this. He will never be more powerful, I'm telling you.
Yeah, especially when he was like, that's enough of that. Oh, goodness gracious. Oop, I had it up. I didn't realize it. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Nope, not feeling it.
Yeah, I think we covered all of them.
That's pretty much all of them. Let me give me a peruse here real quick just to make sure. What do you think of Birth? Any of his forms? Nope. Is that what you said?
Nope. I mean, Birth X is at least like cool to look at once. Mm-hmm. Like it, but it's so glossy, pallety. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as strong as it pretends to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's fair. I think the Birth X form is better than its Equip Everything form.
Yeah,
not good. Much better, but it's better.
No. This guy's
Oh, there is one we did forget.
I was okay. If it's the same one,
Gills and G3.
I was just about to say. You saw Agito relatively recently.
Yep, I started it, at least I didn't finish it, but yeah.
Okay. So G3 is an intriguing idea to me because Anzen is based on the same idea where it's a specially produced, uh, specially modified, mass-produced thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same thing as G3?
So yes and no. He is a super suit designed to be used to fight the unknown life forms, and at the same time, it's he just kind of like he's a cop. He's a cop and he's not Robotech or RoboCop.
Okay,
that's kind of what it is. They went like a RoboCop vibe, sort of. He's not quite like not Bio Rider, Robo Rider. Okay. But it's a super armor. It's an Iron Man suit. That's essentially what it is.
And they
upgraded to the G3X, and then eventually you get G4 in the movie, which is a different dude altogether. But,
yeah. So I like the idea of G3. I like the idea. I just don't like the cop look to it. It just feels.
It is very much a cop look. It's got that, and then it's got the base model, which doesn't look that different, honestly. If you put them side by side, you can tell. I think G3 is a little like slimmed up. It's not as boxy, but that's really the only difference. What do you think of Gills, though?
Look. Gills was always one of the subtle favorites of mine because of the fact that his henshin is so intense.
It's so unique. It's so cool.
It's Shin with less gross, but more intense. But I like Gills' design. I think in terms of power, though, another Agito strikes me with more fear.
That's fair.
Something about that brolic, angry design is always like, I don't even want to fight that thing.
Nope. Speaking of SIC forms, there's another Agito SIC form that's actually called, it's Burning. It's SIC, another Agito Burning, which is kind of sick.
Hold on, I'm gonna see
that. That's pretty cool. I have it up on the screen for our viewers at home right now. It's pretty cool looking. Boy. Y'all know if you watch the tournament with Hawk how much I love my Burning form. Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, that is nice. It's pretty sick. That's literally a purple version of his Burning form, and I am here for it.
And the wings and was it wings or?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a wings or cape. It doesn't matter. I don't really care.
Going with it either way.
Yep. It's sick. That's all I know. So
I mean, altogether, we have like a vast array of like the ups and downs of what we like for secondaries, and it really doesn't depend on one thing or the other. Because shit, for all it's worth, I think Sakura is a great third rider, but a waste of a rider. And
she was also supposed to be the main character, but yeah.
Right. So what I mean is like, what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter the story wise, it doesn't matter the visual, it doesn't matter any of that because we like all of our picks for different reasons. Going forward, I hope Gates, Jeets, whatever, has at least the same amount of effort to their secondary as the older shows, because I just feel like with Revice, because they focus so much on Iki and Vice, the secondary role went right to shit.
Yep. I feel like, of what I've seen, again, I'm not caught up, so I don't know. I know Kagero came back and there's some other things there. I think they burned out that storyline too quickly is what happened. Like it was a 6-7 episode arc crammed into, I should say stretched across 30 something episodes. So it really just didn't do anything. It is what it is at this point. But yes, I think there was some rumors floating around of what the Gates secondary is. I want to say it's like a vampire or something like that. They were saying it's some kind of like bat themed vampire-y type thing. I could be wrong. I don't remember, honestly. But
there's not a lot of rumor. There's not a lot going on in the rumor mill.
Nothing solid. Nothing like, a trademark leak, anything like that. I think there's like a weird scan of Geats somewhere, but it could also have just been Destream that I'm thinking of.
I think what I sent you the other day was like some weird fan thing that was like really good looking though. Like I forget what it was. But I think we can check the news for shit like that, right?
Yeah. So that's pretty much our final thing on the secondaries, but we can get into the news here. We talked about the complete style Gigantics last time. Still super excited for that.
Oh my god, yeah.
There's gonna be sick. Specifically for you, I don't know if you saw, but Trigun is coming back. I know your brother's very into Trigun.
So he and I had a pretty interesting conversation about it. Just to sum it up, like in terms of how everybody feels about these remakes coming out from shit that you used to like I know we have that innate, inert want to protect it. Like, no, that's mine. You guys can't fuck it up. Like, yes, obviously they could easily fuck it up. Look what they've done with He-Man and all that shit. But then we have things like Voltron.
Yeah.
You know, then you have things like fucking
Thundercats 2011.
Right. I didn't even get what it deserved.
Nope.
But you have the potential. So, you know, all Alex was saying is like, it will never be my Trigun.
Yeah.
But it will be Trigun for somebody. It will be their Trigun.
It's more Trigun, and you can't, you know, at some level you can appreciate that. So
of course. I mean, Knives was always one of my favorite dudes.
Well, speaking of which, this is why I bring it up. The person voicing Knives Millions is actually Gokai Silver himself.
Stop.
I am dead serious. Junya Ikeda of Gokaiger is voicing Knives Million. Yeah.
Oh shit! That's
so. If you guys are unfamiliar with Trigun, I have not seen the whole thing, by the way. I only know the story. I have to watch it. But yeah, he is playing Knives Million, Vash's brother, and the main antagonist of the show. So
dope. That's dope.
Yeah. Vash the Stampede is played by Inosuke from Demon Slayer, which is kind of cool. Yeah, and I don't really recognize any other names. Young Knives, or Maya Sakamoto, or I'm sorry, Rem Savarem, I think is the one of the two girls going to find him. Is played by Eris, the voice actress for Eris. Yeah, I don't know.
There's like 5.
I don't know. I'm not here for that. I don't get paid for that, so I have no idea. So look forward to that Trigun Stampede. Looks interesting. The new character designs, the overhauls are pretty cool. You know, they're definitely very modern. So we'll see. It looks promising, if nothing else. So it looks fun to watch.
It's gonna be something to watch, and it's either gonna go right to shit or not. You know, we have the potential and the idea. Let's give it a shot.
Good example K20 gave was Inuyasha and Yashahime, the sequel with their kids.
So
they came like 20 years later.
I didn't get into that because it's, you know, whatever. But is it as codependent on Inuyasha, or is it its own thing?
I honestly don't know. I assumed it was going to be 250 episodes of nothing happening, so I didn't watch any of it.
Yeah, the Seven Deadly Sins, the sequel thing is kind of the same apprehension. I'm like, is it its own thing, or is it more of the same?
The most story happens in the smallest amount of time in the last arc of Inuyasha, that like final arc thing that they released. It was like 24 episodes. There was the most story in there. Everything else in Inuyasha is like very problem of the
Inuyasha,
week.
Man.
And then it's like, oh, my daddy's grave and big demon things happening. And then, oh, cool, the legendary 7 ninja men. That's pretty dope too. I like that. I'm here for it. The undead ninja dudes. Everything else was kind of like, yep, this is Naraka's plot for the week.
Yeah. I stuck around just to hear Sesshomaru say a line or two. That was pretty much it.
I mean, that's why most people stuck around to watch Sesshomaru. He gets a whole new sword in the final part.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But that's neither here nor there, because Titan Comics unveils a new character for the 01 comic book they're creating. We talked about this a little while ago. This is the completely Western made comic. Yeah. They announced a new character and they gave some art, and this character looks pretty sick, actually. I'm gonna put it in the Discord for you.
See this guy.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. Not final artwork.
Yeah, not final artwork, but that's 01 and our new villain, who's using some kind of new Force 01 combination driver, it looks like.
Yeah, it's Force Riser for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a cape. I'm down with the cape.
Oh my god, we have some work to do. We just have it. We just had a point redemption for a designer rider and a Sentai team. We got some work to do after this news.
Boy. Okay. All right. Oh man, you guys are killing me.
Me. Next up, they did announce the new Dish Stream driver, which is the Veil driver as well. It's the combo. I don't know if it's the same as the Veil driver that they announced before. If it's the same one, this is just the final announcement for it, or if this is a new piece altogether. But it comes with the Dish Stream attachments that go over the spindly bits on the end. Has the new armor that's over it, the blue armor, and then it has the stamps. So you can get to stream and all the noises that come with it. So you get the Kabuto voice stamp and I think it's Kabuto for both of them. Yeah, it's Kabuto for both of them. I'm sorry, Heracross and Kabuto.
Hercules. Heracross is the Pokemon.
Whatever. You know what I said. Hercules Beetle. There you go.
Does he get the Mega Form? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. The floaty big buff thing. I'm down for it. Bro.
I mean, yeah. I haven't played any of the new ones just because I don't want to, because I know that it's gonna be a time vampire. But the announcement of, the new ones coming out. Anyway.
Quick question for you. Where do you think you can pre-order that Veil driver with the Stream driver unit?
I have a feeling here that we can go to some place. Is it Jiffy Lube?
Yes, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Right to Jiffy Lube, ask for an oil change and the Veil driver, you'll be set.
Can I get the Veil driver special with my tires rotated?
Yeah. It's an extra $70. You can pre-order that on our favorite place, P Bandai. Thank you. Moving on. The next announcement in the Kamen Rider Revice toy line, the DX toys, is the Crimson Veil Vice stamp. This is the Jack Vice Veil red thing. Comes with some new sounds. I believe if you hold the button, it has its own voice lines too. It's not just like a rehash of the actual stamp. It has voice lines in there that they recorded separately for it, done by our boy, Overhaul, Kenjiro Suda.
He could say anything to you. You'll be all right with it.
He could say, I would listen to his voice whisper me to sleep every night if I could.
Oh
my God.
I know.
Very cool. That is on our favorite site as well. You can find that on P Bandai. So, yep. So it looks like at Anime Expo, a couple things came out of Anime Expo. One of them was a new announcement for our friends at Shout Factory. And we had two announcements. Kamen Rider Kuga is the next Kamen Rider series to come to Blu-ray.
Hell yeah.
So we are finally getting Kamen Rider Kuga. And it's going to come with translations for the Grongi language.
Finally. Fine. Now, has there always been like this unofficial text that we figured out before, or is this new words that they just decided they said?
So there's always been, I never knew exactly, honestly, until this announcement. So I did some research. It seems like there's always been, some of them I have seen over the years have had fan translations of the Grongi as well. But apparently if you know those translations, it kind of foreshadows / spoils a lot of the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So because I watched them very not consistently, because it was, the internet, I am not sure. So this will come. You are able to turn them on or off, whether you want the Grongi subtitles. So that is an option, which is a pretty cool little option because there seems to be some discourse whether you actually should. Every home release of Kuga has had Grongi subtitles. The only one without subs was the OG TV run. So there you go.
If they're spoiling aspects of the show, I guess that's up to you, right? Like, I mean,
that's why it looks like you can choose to have them or not. I'd be curious if it's a Blu-ray master, if you choose with, and like kind of like what we got 01, it was the broadcast master. If it not kind of thing, I'd be curious if there'd be like a quality difference. I hope not, but we shall see. And Mark is glad we're getting Kuga, which got W released to go along with the anime. Absolutely, we'll talk about the anime in just a second. And now it's tinfoil theories that we'll get W and Fuuto PI released physically at the same time. So,
oh yeah, fuck yeah, please.
Yeah. So we'll see. They also did say that they listen to social medias for the next Kamen Rider series. So, yes, I have been tweeting about Blade. I tweet at them almost every day about Blade. But now, when you if you want your Kamen Rider to be presented in Blu-ray, make sure you let them know, because they don't know otherwise. And if you're listening to this shout, all right, Blade, give me Blade. I want Blade right now.
I mean, we could do Blade, but hear me out. They could re-release Gaim. Just saying.
You know who wants Gaim? Literally no one. So don't release Gaim. Actually, unrelease it. Unair it. Delete it from Kamen Rider history.
Delete it from the catalog. Yeah. It never existed.
You're gonna go to Tokupedias and you're just gonna see that there's just a gap missing from 2012 to 2013.
It's all gonna be Kamen Rider Gaim's whole season is just gonna be close-ups of Blade's codpiece, and it's just every scene.
Yes. Shout, help me out here. Oh my god, even better. Gaim will get a VHS release without subs and no opening theme.
Bro, I would still buy that.
But it has to be the like super ghetto, like when you taped Cartoon Network and Toonami and stuff,
where you have
like,
to constantly like track it too.
You have to track it, but then it also like has the label that has like a bunch of stuff crossed off, and one of them is like my parents' wedding, but you cross it off to tape over the Gate
tape.
Guardian and Yu-Gi-Oh.
They already peeled off the recording thing, so you had to put paper in there and tape it over so it can record.
Yeah, exactly. So we just got to go like full poverty on that one. That's what we need to do.
Those are all of my Gundam tapes, bro.
Yeah, I have. I still have
tapes.
some G Gundam VHSs floating around here somewhere.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I have Sirash heating up my back. Jesus.
That's fine. The other announcement that they made as well is that Chikyu Sentai 5-Man is also coming to DVD. Not Blu-ray, DVD.
Okay.
But yeah.
Reasons. They still make those?
they still make DVDs, yeah. So 5-Man, I have only ever seen one episode, and that was when I went on the Marshland Media Talking Sentai, podcast. That was when I was peak COVID, so I sound disgusting. But, that's the only episode of 5-Man I've seen, and it was a wild show. I don't know if you've ever seen anything about 5-Man, but that show is wild.
Like slapstick or like...
there was a surprising amount of throat punching in that episode. Like, there was a weird laser wolf
Car Ranger, and you're talking about violence.
Yeah, no, there was like, it's not quite like a kung fu series, but like there was a lot of throat punching and like throat ripping from this wolf kaiju that was like the bad guy for the episode. It was intense.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Shit, if you can give me a little bit of gore with my comedy, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Peacemaker has some words about the mentality of let's hear from social media is what should be next.
Okay.
But it's a bit heated apparently, but I would like to hear. So, I mean, I think
we're here for hot takes.
Yeah, I think that may not have been the best choice of words, especially since Team Rider had a little stint with that not too long ago, which they apologize for. They get it. They know that was not their intent. But I think the general consensus is like, why do we have to keep proving things? Which I totally understand.
Because it's really not a matter of proving anything. Really not. They don't care. They just want more money. We just need to find.
But they
a way
also
to
care.
More
like the people here also care, though. That's kind of the thing too.
We do, but they don't care that we care this much. I think that they just want to see that translate into dollars. They really
maybe the people at the top, but the ones actively trying to get this stuff over here.
Absolutely,
they care.
Absolutely. But I mean, that's where we're seeing this repetitiveness, where they're saying just support it. They're saying that because they need more bank at it. You know what I mean? Like, of course, we love it. We love it beyond anything. We can't even stress that enough. But if it doesn't make their wallet tickle, they don't care how much you care.
I think it's more of what they want to convey is they just like they know all of them need to come over. So which one should we do next? That's all. I think that's all it is.
Well, if Blade would be the one to sell the most, I will help you. I will help you if it gets me what I want. I'm not gonna like it.
Yeah. Honestly, like I said, I would if they released Forza next, I would still pre-order the Blu-rays. I don't like Forza. If they
maybe more of a child-friendly one is the best.
But you know what I mean? Like at this rate, it's like I'll take whatever you give me at this point. I just want to buy it. Like I just want to support it. So Peacemaker's saying essentially after 4 years, there needs to be a long-term commitment from Toei, and that not happening falls on the parties involved to some degree. Yes, but Toei is also notoriously difficult and stingy and not easy to work with. So, but the other thing that they did announce at this panel was Fuuto PI, and they apparently screened the first 2 episodes while they were there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you bastards.
Yeah. Oh. They whoever was there screened the first 2 episodes and they got a chance to see it. Tokusatsu Network has a full review of the first 2. They gave it a 9 out of 10. So pretty cool.
What? Really? Okay. Well,
yeah.
Okay.
This is as most people know listening is a sequel to the original Kamen Rider W. So it's curious to see where that's going to go. When it comes to W release, I think a good assumption, I think, like Mark said, is they'll do a physical for W and Fuuto PI, or at least announce it around the same time. So we'll see.
Can you imagine? Oh, God, I can't wait. I missed it. Save me, double. Save me.
Yeah. So that's happening. Everyone knows that's happening at this point. I mean, I'm here for it. It's going to be on Crunchyroll, I believe. So make sure you guys check that out when it drops. And if you haven't seen Kamen Rider W, go watch like the first 3 episodes on Toei and then find the rest. So, you know,
just prepare for the last 10 episodes because you're not ready.
Yeah. Peacemaker's clarifying and saying that some people lump everything on Team Rider and Shop. They aren't the only ones involved. They're just the most successful people for us to talk to. Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. Yeah. It's, you know, that's an unfortunate part of being the spearhead to that kind of thing, you know. At the same time, you know, every little thing is judged by a fandom that can be, let's say, not understanding.
It takes a while because, you know, it's not everybody can understand it even when you explain it to them. So yeah, I got you.
So okay, so that was Anime Expo. Yeah, apparently that convention was popping the fuck off. I saw some pictures. I was terrified. It looked like a bunch of sardines packed into a convention center.
Oh no, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Next up in the news, we have Yue Asakura, also known as Aguilera in Kamen Rider Revice, apparently has been a target of a malicious stalking incident, and she reported. She reported the details on July 5th. Apparently, some male was just like sneaking around, getting weird.
That's not okay.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, especially with Aguilera, she's fucking adorable. Like, come on.
Yeah. So that was the whole thing. I think she followed an official, whatever. But yeah, don't be weird. Stop being weird. That's fucking weird. Don't do that.
Like, no, stop. I don't even want to touch that because that's just odd. All odd.
Yeah. That's just, it happened. Don't do that. And if you really need for me to explain why that's bad, you can message me. I will happily explain to you why you should not stalk someone. I'll open that can of worms.
If you need to ask the question, you've already fucked up. So don't. Go sit in the corner and ask yourself the question until you pass out.
Ask yourself, why am I the way I am?
And then go somewhere with that because fuck that. Yeah. Jesus.
So, goodness gracious.
Poor thing. Just trying to give us a half decent rider design.
Just trying to give us a half decent rider design.
Just trying to pull off that half decent rider.
And last big major thing in the news here. I see you guys in the chat. I'll get to that in a second. Ultraman has a Marvel crossover. They've had a run in the Marvel comics recently.
My brother,
but
Alex was.
Yeah, they're actually very good. The Ultraman comics are very good. I highly recommend them. But they have an official crossover coming. It looks like with some of the Avengers and things like that. They announced this at Anime Expo as well. And there were some classic heroes. I'm trying to find who is writing.
Go up against Ant-Man. Watch.
I wouldn't be surprised. But in the little picture that they have, we have Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, and Iron Man floating around with Ultraman. Is that Jack and Taro? I don't know.
Taro. Oh boy.
Taro, yeah.
They're going throwbacks. Okay.
So, you know, it's definitely a show of stuff because it's those who have showed up in the comic books. But I don't know who the one, I always forget who the one with the thing is. I think it's Leo or Taro or Jack, one of those two. But they are showing up in here. They had a whole like live event thing too. It was kind of cool at the Anime Expo where they were just like fighting monsters on stage in costumes.
That's awesome.
That's pretty dope.
I hope. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that they would bank on Ultraman again like that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, fuck it.
I mean, if the comics are doing well, I'm down for it. Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. So what's going on in the chat here?
What miss?
So Mark's a little upset that Team Rider is not doing a Rider Week this year. I did not know that. So Rider Week's not happening this year, virtually anyway, because conventions are back. So they're focused on that, which I mean, I understand that. You know, going around, you want to see the people, you want to make the buzz in person. It is a little unfortunate they're not doing a Rider Week. And then he jokingly mentions that they just don't want us to do a Blade panel. They can't handle the power. That's what it is.
Shouldn't worry about that. Come on. They have other things to do.
It's fine. But yeah, Peacemaker saying it's a little annoying as well because, you know, there's no conventions really near them. In the middle of a pandemic as well. Yeah.
So what you're saying, Peacemaker, is you want us to do a Blade Week for you?
Yep.
Would you like that?
Peacemaker would love a Kabuto Week, actually.
Kabuto Week?
Yeah, a week of Kabuto just for you, Peacemaker.
I would be okay with that. I think Kabuto can get it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And people are starting to think apparently that Aguilera is dating Stacy. Okay.
Oh. They're gonna make beautiful babies.
And apparently also Izu and Reika are coming back for the Jean Aguilera special. More announcements to follow. Probably Yaiba and Sophia to do a Reiwa female rider team up. I would be down for that. That would be really cool. Do a little Visa next with all the Reiwa riders, female riders.
Bro, you have me at Izu. You give me Izu and 02. I'm good.
Nice. And Mark's thinking about officially hosting or unofficially hosting his own Rider Week.
Oh yeah,
that'd be fun. We could do a community Rider Week. We could set that up. We can make it happen.
Pick your favorite episodes and we'll start though.
Yeah, we could. I think we could definitely make that happen. We can probably get sanctioned by our friends too. We got the hookups. We can make it happen. Mark, we'll talk. So
I'm making a note.
That is pretty much it for the news. I don't think I missed anything else other than random things. More Yamashiron stuff. I don't care about Yamashiron anymore.
I love those guys. I see them all the time on my feed now. It's like constant. They're like friends now.
Yeah. Yeah. Dokenders was great. It was fun. I'll finish the second season eventually. One day.
We got to.
But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for here this evening, folks. Thank you guys so much for hanging out on this Sunday. And talking riders, because, we love to do that around here. We'll find an excuse to talk about some riders. Ultraman Decker is yet to be seen.
Yeah, I mean,
we may or may not do everything to do that.
We're not what we wanted them to be. But when is it ever with Ultraman? Like other than the Ultra Conspiracy movie, we'll give it all an easy go.
Oh, I did miss a couple other things actually.
Oh no.
Yeah, so they released a trailer for the Birth of Chimera, the Revice spinoff. That new one that's coming out. They also announced that Ultraman Regulos, the Beast Fist dude, the cool guy in the Galaxy Fight movies, is getting his own spinoff. So I'm here for it.
Oh, finally. Okay.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I gotta watch the new movie still. I also gotta check out Next Generation Heroes, the first one. So 1 and 3 we gotta watch.
Regulos.
So yeah, Regulos is the dude who's like trapped in the movie that we watched. Yeah,
I like this.
So he's getting his own spinoff apparently, which is pretty cool. I'm down for it. Just give me more Ultra Galaxy Fight nonsense. I'm here for that.
WrestleMania. Just WrestleMania it up for us and we'll take care of the rest.
Exactly. So that is officially it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out this evening. Where can they find you if they want to see more stuff?
So 6echoes.se@gmail.com. Just released actually the channel launched yesterday.
Nice.
For officially on YubTub. 6 Echoes, you can find me, just Google that. Again, I'm still looking for stories. I have 3 videos coming out next week, so it'll be dope. Hit me up there. You can find me here with you Sundays or whenever we do this fun stuff.
Whatever day life doesn't interfere. Yeah, usually Sundays.
But yeah, other than that, hit me up on there and we'll talk spooky.
Yeah. If you guys want to follow me for video games, fighting games, all the other shenanigans that I get into during the week, you can check out the Twitch channel if you're not watching live, twitch.tv/KaijuCarl. You can also follow me on Twitter @KaijuCarl for all kinds of hot blade takes, video games, and most importantly, fighting games. So, yeah. Again, thank you guys for hanging out. We had a good turnout. We got some hot debates cooking this week. I like it. You guys are ridiculous.
We're gonna have fun. Just be here next week when we finish the fights.
Yeah, when we have our title card. Next week when Rob and I actually just fight each other.
Yeah, that'll be it. It'll just be us punching each other right in the face. Be ready.
We'll do the tortilla slap contest. That's what we'll do.
Oh my god, yeah.
Perfect. Yo. We get this channel to 200 followers, and if I can get 15 subs, we'll do the tortilla slap. How about that?
And then face chicken after that. It'll be like the
well, you're gonna lose, so that's not as it'll be
nobody knows that but you, so stop.
I'm really good at face chicken.
See you guys.
Deuces, yo.